Hello, 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 and welcome to Bravo. We're Black with another blackity black ass episode to celebrate Black History Month. We've got the busiest person on the face of the planet. You know him, you love him, you see that beautiful face. Would you say that you're a green-eyed bandit?
I guess you could call me a green-eyed bandit.
The third green-eyed bandit and author of, The Wickedest Wives, DJ Richie Sky, who's a news personality. But for me, you are just like the source of everything pop culture, not just Black pop culture, but in general. I just run to your YouTube page when you decide to post on Instagram because you're too busy, Mr. 100,000. When you decide to post on Instagram, you do Get Ready With Me. You're just a connoisseur. You've been on here before. So that's the best part about it, is that we can just jump right on into things, because if you haven't listened to that episode, go back, listen to it, come back to this episode and chat with us, or listen to this one first and then go back. Make sure you are following DJ Richie Sky on all platforms. But this is basically a state of emergency. I have to let you guys know that this is the Bravo episode. Again, this is the Bravo episode. I know it's Wednesday, so you're like, Kea, are you drunk again? No. Right now, I'm not drunk. But we had to do a topsy-turvy because we have two special guests for Black History Month this week. But this is someone that we wanted to talk Bravo with, that we haven't been able to talk Bravo with in a long time. And a lot of things are going on. Like, this is a Bravo state of emergency. So right now, Wednesday, you're getting your Bravo episode, and Saturday, you will be getting the pop culture episode. Now, that pop culture episode, since we are filming it a little bit later, you will be able to hear our thoughts on Love is Blind finale, because that will be coming out the day that you get this. We'll be able to hear our thoughts on Avatar. You'll be able to hear our thoughts on all things pop culture. Mea culpa. Love it or hate it. You will be hearing some thoughts, okay? But right now, we have to get into this Bravo state of emergency. I was just on Kendrick, Reality and Comics 2, that podcast, the day that the news broke. That's how nosy and that's how concerned I was, because one thing about me, I will stop breathing to hear someone spill the tea. That's how nosy I am. Obviously, the breaking news since we have been gone is that Porsha filed for divorce from Simon. And if you didn't know, a damning report came out about Simon Guobadia. I call her Porsha Goodbody because it just sounds better. And especially when she came back, it's like, we got to break it down, because when she announced that she was coming back to Bravo, she was like, Porsha, it was like such a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, which has me in a tizzy. She was like, Porsha Williams is not coming back, but Porsha Guobadia, she's coming back. So a damning report came out. This man had multiple identities, social security numbers, eye colors. He had a picture with hair. He had a picture from 1994, 2004, 2024. He weirdly had a picture from 2034 too. This man is such a scammer. We did not, well, okay, I'm not going to speak for all of us. We're going to have our turns. I did not see that coming. I made that very clear on Kendrick's podcast. I still feel the same way. After that report came out, a few days later, a report came out that Porsha filed for divorce. Not only did she file for divorce, but the documents are allegedly sealed, although there are some leaks getting out right now. What we found out today, the most recent update, is that she is asking them to enforce the prenup. And that is never good, because usually we see that the woman wants the prenup to not be enforced because she wants to get them coins and go. It just feels like Porsha may have been blindsided. My first thing is, I want you to speak first as the guest, and then Aaron, I want to get your thoughts. Are you surprised about this divorce, or did you see this coming?
I am surprised that it happened so soon. I feel like, I think that we all saw a train wreck coming, but it did seem like Porsha was having one heck of a ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was
in Dubai. They're gonna go
She was riding that thing harder than Karen claims that they ride her on Potomac. So I was like, let her live it up. And then when she decided to come back, I was like, okay, this should be very interesting. I want to see this lifestyle. I want to see the popular jets. I need to see what's Africa this year as trip. I'm saying all of that. Mind you, all of this stuff comes out about him and his past. And I'm like, I had heard some things about that before, but I just kind of like was okay. Porsha got to know about these things, and what the internet is saying. But she, I'm sure, has just thrown caution to the wind, and she is celebrating down to the Nigeria or wherever he is from. But then I had to say to myself, like, is Simon Guobadia even his real name? So I don't know. When the news came out about all of those, felonies and multiple identities and things of that nature, I said, did she know? How could she get into a relationship with him and not know about these things? But again, they happened in 1982. What was she like, 2? Was she born? Did she, usually I always talk about the whole facts, right? So when you're dating somebody, you have got to check the whole facts. And that is just the intel, the street intel about the person in, like, whatever your friends may know, something. Y'all recall when Candy had to try to tell her about Dennis, she didn't want to hear it. So it could have been just another situation where Porsha just wanting to turn a blind eye because all she saw was dollar signs. So I don't really know. But what I do know is it sounds to me like this will be her story for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is going to be like the story. Because, otherwise, it's kind of like a letdown. We're not going to see this fabulous lifestyle. So now we're going to have to see the drama of the divorce.
Right. Aaron?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I always felt like it was going to happen at some point, but I just never thought that it would happen this soon because we already have Kim Zolciak that's going through it, and I'm not sure if Kim Zolciak is back, but just like a lot of people in Bravo going through divorces, I just did not see for
you got Porsha, Drew already going through it,
So I feel like that's the storyline for so many people. So I didn't even if it was true, I didn't think that she would bring that to Housewives of Atlanta. And a lot of people are also speculating that maybe they're doing this whole divorce thing so that Porsha will not even have to get hit with any of what Simon is getting hit with, and that they remain a couple. That type of thing, that type of setup.
Yeah.
It's so weird though that she said on her Instagram, Porsha Williams coming back to Housewives. Who said that? It's Porsha Guobadia that's coming. And I'm like, you say that, you make this, that is the statement, right? Emphasizing that last name only for days later you to file for divorce. And it says irreconcilable differences with no chance of reconciliation. Was it the report that did it? Or was it something else?
Right. Because my whole thing is that I believe that this is genuine, because I don't think that she would come back and especially make this statement about how she's Guobadia now, and she knows what we're going to expect because she's giving it to us on Instagram. Like, she's in Dubai, she's on jet skis. She also had the lavish 16 weddings. Like, she is fully immersed in the culture. Okay. And I think that she is very much going through Risa Tisa. This is the Nigerian Legion. This is the Nigerian Legion that's happening right now. And maybe, when the first report came out, maybe she had to talk to him about some things. And I don't know if he came clean about how bad it really is, or maybe another report, like maybe more information is coming out. And she's like, who the fuck did I marry? Like, really, who the fuck did I marry? Because I did not see this coming from anywhere. As long as the money is there, just like Risa Tisa, as long as the money is there and it's being spent, the houses bills are paid, you're not seeing no bills, you just out there twerking, looking good, having fun with your girls, you in another continent, you don't really question things. And people, I feel like rich people get into money situations all the time that we don't understand, that I don't know. It just seems like whenever somebody rich gets into some financial trouble, they just file for bankruptcy and it just magically goes away and they live about their life. So I mean, maybe it was just gonna.
That's essentially what happens. But I mean, you have to add the extra layer here
Mhm.
in that he is not from this country. So
Yeah.
that now is interesting to me because when she was in the throes of planning these weddings,
Mhm.
was it not ever a concern that, okay, are you even a citizen? Like, are you like, I mean,
I think it's
did you
also
just find
because
out that he couldn't get citizenship? Like, I mean,
also my whole thing is let's not beat around the bush here. We know that he was married to Fallon and she ran through the house like a Tomb Raider and took that Fallon's man. What was he doing with Fallon? Like, was that a point of contention between them? Did she know about this all along? Like, what were you? How did you get here? And you got property and money and cars and clothes and hoes, and you're just living it up. But this whole time, like, you're not. Well, is he a permanent resident? Is he on a visa? Is he even Simon Gabadia? Did he claim the identity of a dead person? Because I heard that was a thing. But my biggest thing is like this has to be like world's stupidest criminals, because why, when you are doing illegal activity or you know that you have illegal activity in your past, why would you amplify that and then go on TV?
that is the question that I'm still waiting to find answers for. But I have to wonder if it's kind of like the Jen Shaw syndrome of it all. Like maybe there's a little bit of, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm not going to say the man is a narcissist, but
He might be a narcissist.
I mean, I feel like you would have to be in order for you to know that you have this kind of past, even if you and perhaps for some people it is a situation where, oh yeah, I got this kind of past, but I got this kind of money. So
Right. You think you're above the law.
I mean, if it's kind of like Nene said, I mean, what's in my garage now? You know what I mean? Maybe he's having one of those moments. They make it in your size when you got the coin. I really don't know. They can give you citizenship status when you got the coin. Who knows? What I do know is that it just seems like I think that there were maybe other women that have been in his life. And I don't know if he was, what did they say he was married before? The situation with
mentioned
Fallon, I feel like there
something.
have been other women who have been involved with him and, have had the sort of eye-opening moment as well. And I just also have to wonder, like, you're not looking at any of these things, Porsha? Like, I mean,
I
there
think you're
are
looking
so
at
many
them.
red flags here going in. We all saw them. Why didn't you?
And then my only thing that makes me doubt it, right, is that I didn't think that Portia would come back. I didn't say that, I don't think that she would never come back. I just didn't think that she would come back in a full-time capacity because I'm like, oh, she's so rich. Like she doesn't need this. Like she
I
doesn't
would
need it.
I would
I
not.
wouldn't, but if you're like a fame whore, I get it. Like maybe she just wants the attention. She wants us to see like, aha, you're poor. Like I get it. Like sure. But I would never think that she would come back in a full-time capacity. And then on top of that, not only is she being a full-time housewife, but she also has this deal. She has like, there's the Bethany Claus and then there's the Candy Birds deal. So she has this deal with NBCU where she's able to produce other things, maybe spinoffs, maybe because we all know how how it went when she tried to have her own, like Portia's Family Matters thing. That was not the best way to show the family. But then we saw her on Ultimate Girls Trip and we fell back in love with Porsha again. So maybe she's like, okay, I want to go and I want to be seen as like a housewife. I'm really like, I'm sturdy. My family is not on the rocks anymore. I want to show the world what it is. So it's very weird that she would come back when she doesn't need to. she would come back with the multiple like show deal, and then this happens. That's like the devil on my shoulder. That's like, oh no, she might have knew. Someone might have tapped her on the shoulder, because this is now. And then on top of that, she's like, oh, enforce the what do you call it? Enforce the prenup. So I'm like, what is she trying to like protect? She's trying to protect her assets, essentially. It's like, okay, you go with what you got, and I'll go with what I got, including my deals and whatever else is happening in the future before we get divorced. So I'm like, did someone let her know, give her the heads up? Like, what is really going on between the sheets in my home?
No, see, that's what confused me though, because I'm like, you don't want no money? Like,
is there money to want?
I mean, and that's the question. Is there any money to want? Because I would assume that she left with quite a bit of her own coin. And then now coming back, I'm sure listen, life is an upgrade no matter what for Porsha at this point. Because she also, I'm sure that deal that she got to come back was pretty sweet. In addition to the overall scripted deal, like that's huge. That is huge. So I feel like she still comes out a winner in this. And I feel like because it's Porsha, she's going to still come out smiling and looking good. Like I feel like that's how it always works for her. I think she just got that kind of luck. You know what I mean?
Right. And I hope so. I mean, I would like to see it. I can't say that, because even with all this news, I'm looking forward to seeing what she has to bring this season. I'm looking forward to seeing if we'll see any Simon, because I don't even know if we'll see Simon this season.
He's going to be like Michael Darby.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where I feel like
Casper.
He's probably going to be absent.
Well, I feel like if they picked up cameras already, or if they're picking him up now, we might see a little bit of him, because he's very much I want my woman back on Instagram. So if you want me back, I got this scene to film. So you need to get in the scene, and I need to tell you like what's going on. We need to talk about what's going to happen. So we might get a little bit of him, maybe. But if they wait and like she puts her foot down and she's like, I'm not sticking around for this, then I don't think that we'll get any assignment on the TV. I was also like wondering if like she's very close to her sister Lauren. I remember seeing that when they dropped that she was coming back, and also they announced that she had the deal, that it seemed that she was planning to do some things with like Lauren. Like, is Lauren going to be a part of it? Like her storyline? Is she going to have her own show? Like, what is really going on? Like Mimi said, what's going on? Like,
Lauren
there's a lot.
Has a bob. It's about to be go time. She's gonna
be the bob though, because you're the bob expert.
That's a 10. That's a perfect 10.
Wait, who's
Lauren?
Bob?
Looks amazing. Lauren? Yeah.
Lauren was actually the saving grace of Porsha's Family Matters, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Actually, Lauren and Dennis. I feel like we could probably see more of Dennis than we probably would of Simon. I mean, if this man is not even a citizen, I don't know, but if you watch, do you follow him on social media at all?
Dennis, I do.
Well, not Dennis. I'm talking about Dennis blocked me, so I don't know. I can't follow him.
Dennis blocked you?
Yes, a long time ago. Like,
when you just reporting when you were doing your job.
Yes, right when they first got together. Like, I don't know what happened. I looked and I was like, wait, I'm blocked.
Since he want to block people, when he had scammed, who was that? Toya for that hair company.
I mean, listen. I was just talking about what everybody else was talking about. I wasn't breaking any news. I don't break news on my channel. I really just talk about
somebody got to say it first.
Already out there, right? Mm-hmm. But anyway, I was actually thinking about Simon, because if you follow him on social media, he's posting like ain't nothing wrong.
Right.
Like, I mean, today is a good day. You know what I'm saying? Him smiling with the cheeklet teeth. I mean, it's just interesting. He's very interesting now.
That's what money does, I feel, though. Like, because even when something's wrong, it's like you got all this money. So I think I would probably still smile.
At the end of the day, I could buy another bitch.
Yeah. Like, it might be tough out there for a little bit, but I'll be okay.
But he did post and delete, or was that just in stories where he was like, "Oh, I want my." He said something about his
I think
wife,
it
and
was
then
in the
that,
stories.
yeah, okay, that was in stories, and then that's when Portia was just thanking everyone for praying for. I, okay, so how do you guys think Fallon is feeling right now? Like, do you think that she knew that this was an issue?
She's somewhere laughing, I'm sure. I would text her.
That's the test. See what you want. See what you gotta say.
I ain't gonna text her.
She was
You know
saying
what's
what
funny?
you gotta say.
I started to my initial thought was I wanted to interview Fallon because I was like, I wonder how she's responding to this, right? But I was like, no, because I also didn't want it to be a situation where, we've done interviews before, and
Mhm.
I didn't want it to be a situation where I'm putting her in a position where she
Yeah.
is the story now because she's responding to something, right?
Well, you wouldn't do that because she was already on Instagram, cheesing and with the American flag and all that. So you would be the first.
On
But
top of that, I'm pretty sure she's in those comment sections too. And they said she better not be laughing too hard because she got pregnant by the pool boy. And I was like, well,
you know what's so
those
funny?
comments will
I
eat
really
your
did
ass up
like
and
them
make you-
together. They were like honestly like two little like Love Is Blind contestants that I just felt like, oh,
they were cute together.
y'all might be like Lauren and Cameron.
But the thing is that like I really did like them together because I'm like, okay, finally she's with someone. Like even though all of a sudden she's the cougar because she's with someone who's what I think he was like 8 years younger than her, but
Yeah,
she was married to a man like 40 years older than her.
Yeah.
Anyways, the double
I think they
standard
love
was
each
bullshit.
other. Young love.
I thought that they loved each other but I did when they went on that show and I saw that he was taking care of the whole house. Then I was like, okay, this boy is not. He can't do like I can't even take care of myself, so I couldn't imagine taking care of like 6-7 people, especially if you're with someone who was married to a Nigerian prince. Like,
You know what
it's
unpopular
not very
opinion?
princely behavior though.
right.
But that's how I feel about Porsha and Dennis. Like I like seeing Porsha and Dennis together. I
can
I
say you
always
were
liked that.
always a fan,
Yeah.
and I still don't to this day, but I did not understand why you loved the hot dog
I
king so
like
much.
the
Can you
vibes together.
you
I
think
thought
that they just
complemented each other very well. It's like unlike her and Simon, I feel like it was always forced when they took pictures together. I think her and Dennis had more of a genuine friendship / relationship. It seemed more authentic than her and Simon.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I can't find the attraction.
And Dennis is
like,
good TV too.
honestly, I was like, I think she must want a little access to the money. When I first saw her and Simon together, I was like, I actually thought that when I saw her with Dennis too. So I don't know. I think she just got a type. And I ain't saying
with
she's
money.
a gold digger because listen, you should always be smart with who you date. So
Absolutely.
I can't fault her for setting her sights on the money prize.
And I keep saying that I cannot see, like, okay, let's just say like she don't really want to break up with him or whatever, and she don't want. The case may be she know that this man might be getting deported, and Porsha, as much as amazing as Young Rich and African on Netflix makes Nigeria and South Africa and all those places sound, and as beautiful as it is, I can't see her on Real Housewives of Lagos. Like I can't see her on there. So maybe she's just like, listen, you're about to get deported. We don't have no baby together. There's nothing tying me to you. I got this deal with Bravo. So I'm gonna go. But someone did say in the comment section that she needs to be with the dude. Did you watch the movie Bottoms? You know that football player who's just like, I'm just here. Y'all know why I'm here or something like that. He was on the show with Porsha on Stars on Mars.
I didn't see that show because I didn't even understand the premise.
So good. Okay, so basically they built a fake Mars and they had everyone like week to week live there and see if they could survive there. And it was really a good recoup for Porsha because we got to see her be funny. The whole house loved her. She went from long hair to a shortcut. She was given body. Like it was really like a good place to see her in like a competition style series. But Marshawn Lynch, her and Marshawn Lynch, they were calling each other brother and sister, but they would look good together. That's all I got to say. I would like to see it because he's a retired football player and he's hilarious. They have the same sense of humor. And she needs someone rich, and he's rich, and he's attractive also. I don't want her to go back to Dennis as much as I feel like you want her to, Aaron, because that's what that face says. I don't want her going back to Dennis.
Maybe if they don't get back together, I just want to see more Dennis.
For you.
Yeah, and then raising their child together. I think
that they have a good co-parenting relationship, especially because Dennis is throwing shade and he done put poor Pilar in it, saying that he ain't broke. But that was ironic. That was crazy. But let us know what y'all think about Porsha, you guys. Any final thoughts on it? Because this is just, it's weird that we're even talking about this because I genuinely think, like, if I had to do, I think that should be the pot stirrer for the Porsha segment. If you had to 50-50, is this real or is this storyline? How much would you put that this is a real, genuine, she found out about all this? Or it could be something totally different because we're not even considering, maybe he's abusive, maybe he's cheating, maybe he's like, there could be so many other things that are happening. Or is this for storyline and they really actually together? I would say it's about 70% real, 30% storyline.
I would be with you on the 70-30 because when I was looking at the Radar Online sort of detail of the report that came out today, and when it talked about the irreconcilable differences, or that it was irretrievably broken and that there were no chances of reconciliation, that to me said, okay, this is final, or it seemed very final to me. So, and with how she's handling the divorce and the prenup and enforcing all of these things, or else, as the headline reads, it seems pretty real to me. Now, was the marriage itself, was that a marriage of more convenience? Now, that is a different question.
That's not the question. Not too much.
Right. But this part of it, I think it's, I would go 70-30.
I feel like it's real.
How much?
All the way.
75.
You are so extra. You know what? Okay. 75-25, y'all. 75-25, because Aaron just has to be different. Aaron just has to be a pick me, just so when we eventually get her on here, he can be like, I knew you were telling the truth the whole time.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. That's 75, so I could go either way.
Well, okay, obviously the next thing is that Potomac, I think that this was actually a better episode. I might be alone in that, but I actually this is an episode where I wasn't fully on my phone. It was them having fun, and then also the whole, not you laughing in my face.
No, I was laughing at Richie's face.
The disrespect right now, y'all, if y'all watch on YouTube. But I felt like it was more, maybe it's because we had a new girl speak. Kristen, is that her name? Kirsten? Kirsten?
What's her name?
What's her name?
I actually have it in my notes too. I really liked her.
Honestly,
I liked her. Maybe that was it. We had a new person talk.
I'm telling you, that was it. When I was looking back on the episode and I was rating it during my review, I initially was going to give it a 5. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, when I rate an episode, my lowest is usually a 7. I'm giving you usually 7 points just because y'all showed up and gave me something to talk about, right? But I was like, I'm so tired of this show right now. I'm going to give it a 5. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a 6 because of Kiana.
Oh my God.
She had a fresh, effervescent energy.
Yes.
She was able to speak her truth to her friends.
Yes.
They received it well. She was able to call out what she saw within the group. I just felt like she should be a housewife and we could replace her with we could replace somebody else and with her.
Ineka?
Well, here's the thing with Ineka to me. I feel like Nneka got caught up in some minutia that she shouldn't have gotten caught up in. Her introduction would have been much better in this comparison of where she lives versus where Karen lives in Potomac. That would have been much more on brand for an introduction to a new housewife than this shrining thing that's happening. So I feel like Nneka hasn't really gotten I just feel like she hasn't gotten a fair shake because she's got the lifestyle. She lives in Potomac, you know, she's got the coin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she has what Potomac desperately needs.
It's unfortunate that she's just been brought into a situation that I don't know, maybe she should have done it differently herself, but I don't know.
Well, okay, so then who would you replace? Wait, who are you gonna say should be replaced then?
Okay, so a real conversation.
Yeah.
I always hate to take somebody off of a show because I'm always like, oh,
I mean, we're not producers though.
I want these people to work, right? I want them to get money. So
yeah, we just
in my mind, if we got to make some cuts, somebody got to go. I'm probably gonna remove Robin because I really feel like Robin, her actual story arc has run its course.
Yeah, you're married and you're done.
Yeah, even when she's arguing with somebody, the most that she can give is blah, blah, blah. I mean, there are 2 instances of that. One already happened and one will happen next week. So I just kind of think that for me, she can go. I would hesitate to say Giselle because even though she's the nucleus of most of the issues, I find it hard to believe that Bravo would part ways with Giselle because I just kind of feel like
she's such a powerhouse.
Too invested in her. The people that I'm most interested in, I should say, let me give you that.
Okay.
Are Karen, Kiana, Candace, Mia.
Oh no. He also said Ashley. He just whispered it. Yeah, Ashley also.
I was going to say Ashley. Actually, I had to think about it. Ashley, to me, is capable of being what the role that Giselle plays. Messy.
Yeah. And she told us straight up about
with it, but you know, I just kind of feel like with Giselle, to me, it's like, you know how you can see the hand on the sock puppet, like we see it's a sock puppet. We know we have seen the same routine play out. It's like Groundhog Day. How many more times can you do the same thing? How many times are y'all gonna ride Karen about her alleged affairs that have never been proven?
When they brought up Blue Eyes, I was like, okay.
No receipts out there, whereas Juan has a signed receipt. So I mean, for me, I just kind of feel like leave it alone. We've been doing this for 8 years. Y'all can't do nothing different.
I did like as much as I love I like when they fight, but I did like when Candace and Ashley actually like get along and they're like talking. I'm like, this is actually interesting because they used to be friends and I don't think that they will ever be friends again. But even Candace herself has admitted, I don't want Ashley off the show. Like, I like sparring with her. Like, I genuinely like sparring with her. Whereas with Giselle, it's just Giselle. It's a different situation. I like seeing that dynamic too, in addition to the new girl. So I think that is really what I was seeing. And then I also love a random singing moment. I also like that, like Mia, she just lies. She just loves to lie, and she'll be the first to tell you, yeah, like I kind of lied. And she just lied. She had an inheritance, and Gordon was broke, and $10,000 was just not a lot of money. And she just says it, and she just doesn't give a fuck. And like sometimes that really like pisses me off, like Rolly on Baddies, and she's like, I hate when people lie. But with Mia, it's just like, wow, like just to be just a liar and just be free and just not give a fuck about it and it be entertaining. It's so cool. I think that that's also like, I'm finding things that I really liked about this episode. I'm trying to get it up from that 6. Like I'm trying to get it to at least within this season. I'm trying to get it to like 7.5 at least. You know, Karen, she doesn't give a fuck about the whole grand dame thing because she knows that she is the grand dame. Giselle is trying to get under her skin with it. She was shading the hell out of Aneka with the whole area code thing, and then also Giselle's not even in the conversation because on the map Giselle's in New York. Like I don't even know
Literally.
where Giselle is.
Giselle's in New York with Jason.
With Jason and his snow bunny. Yes, we saw it. We know it. We've seen it.
I was like, child.
With Jason and his snow bunny child, but that's neither here nor there. Right now they're together, or he can do what he wants. Just can't have no pictures. I sure saw a picture or two or three or four. But you know, I really did enjoy this episode. Aaron, what did you think?
I would give it a solid 7. I would give it a solid 7, just because, you know, Robin, and that's what I want to say too. Robin is playing a much bigger part than she's ever played. I feel like this particular season.
Tell me, like, what makes
Just
you
with
think
her
that?
situation with Juan, I think the back and forth with her bringing up the looks that Candace and Wendy gave at the table, even though I'm like, girl.
I thought that, like, okay, what do we think about
That
looks?
was
Because I thought that wasn't really like a thing. Like, I just think that Candace
I
hates
didn't-
Giselle, and I'm just not gonna.
That's what they said too. It wasn't about their daughters, and I think they try to make everything that everything that Candace and Wendy do like this spiteful, disgusting, hateful thing. When it's just like, it's like shade. It wasn't anything heavy. So I don't think that was against Grace at all. And on top of that, Robin brought that fun game. That's the only reason we got to know as much as we did about their sex lives, about what Juan fetishizes.
We know that Juan wants everyone but Robin.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say yeah.
No, you said it came out naturally because that's what you thought.
I didn't mean to say.
I think that with Robin, I see what you mean. She's actually like addressing the rumors head on when it comes to the laundromat. She's addressing, you know, how everyone was mad about her selling tea on Patreon, like she's one of us. She is, you know, stirring the pot.
She's also not giving a fuck.
Is
Kind of like how you said. She's like just doing it and just seeing what happens.
But I think that's her downfall, is that she really doesn't give a fuck. Like, she knows that she's gonna stay. She doesn't care what we say. She doesn't care if she gets fired or not.
I need you to give some. Like, you got to give a little bit. You know what I mean?
But you would think that she would care more because that man was not working at that point. Like, I would be like, okay, so I need to come and I need to bring it this season. Like, I really need it to be something. But she's just genuinely like,
Robin's such a sleepy time girl.
Yeah, you know, Robin reminds me of like the next door neighbor. You know, just
in what way?
The one that you catch staring out the window, like looking at nothing.
No,
and then she comes outside in the robe, and she has the shoes on, and she walks really slow to the mailbox, and then she walks back in her house like real slow.
Well, you know, that wasn't what I had in mind, but you actually described it better. Like, you gave this person a life. Like, you literally brought,
you brought
that
plot
image to life. You did. I was just gonna say, in that she just seems so around the corner, around the way, you know. But I think what you said was actually even better. You know, she just doesn't seem to be with it. And I think for what I'm looking for with Housewives is, and maybe it's because I started, you know, from like way back in the day, is I'm looking for people that live behind the gates and act like it, you know. And those people tend to give they tend to give some F's, you know.
Yeah,
I think she's too close to us. Maybe that's what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I don't want you to feel like.
And we've seen it in her scenes too, like even her sitting at home in bed, like eating McDonald's French fries in the dark at like 2:00 in the afternoon, and it's like, damn, that's me as fuck. Like, wow, even
at BravoCon, she doesn't realize that she's one of the housewives. Like, she'll just be walking out, and then security is like trying to walk around her, and she's like, "What the fuck?" Like, she just thinks she's a regular person, and it's like, babe. Hey, like, you are a housewife. You know that.
In Dutch, and it's okay.
It would be interesting to see her without Giselle.
Ooh,
I agree.
I wonder what she would be like without.
On a girls' trip. Maybe she could take a pause and go on a girls trip.
I mean,
you were like, not exactly that.
I meant first on this show. I mean, again, it's hard to picture Potomac without Giselle. Let's just face it. It is.
Well, because we had Giselle go on girls trip and Robin wasn't there. Right?
It would. So you know what's funny too? I think putting people on girls trip actually tells you what they're really like, right? Case in point, Teresa. Useless on girls trip. Useless. Sheree, traitors. Useless.
Wait.
Useless. Okay. Used less.
Okay, useless. Go on.
So I think it's always interesting because when Giselle was on Ultimate Girls Trip, she was the same person that she is on Potomac. Candace, same person. Ramona, same person. Kenya, same person. But some of these ladies, they just fade to the background when you put them outside of their normal show, which I think is also very interesting. So I do wonder what Robin would do on an Ultimate Girls Trip.
I think Ultimate Girls Trip,
would she fade into the background? Like, how many times in the beginning episodes of Traitors did y'all even forget that Sheree was there? I forgot almost every episode until like maybe episode 3. I was like, oh, she is there. Oh, they did move her into a room in the mansion.
If she ends up winning, this will be like, this would be insane. This would be like, I don't know, like something that has never happened, but like a chance kind of thing. Like I feel like if they called her name, she wouldn't even know that she won.
I told you that though. Wouldn't it be something if
it would be like so iconic because it's just like, as much as I want Phaedra to win, they're onto her, and I'm really pissed at that. These people are doing their jobs.
They're onto her. It's Dan's fault. Dan started this train wreck trying to save himself when he could have gone another direction.
Yep. And now he want to go on Everybody and Their Mama podcast talking about how the Bravo fans have been feral. Well, guess what? Shut up. You were going home, so you should have ate that or figured it out.
I'm surprised it's him and not Trishelle because they have been.
Trishelle, we don't know because they're still airing the episodes. The finale is next week, you guys. This week. We'll be tuning in.
Trishelle is annoying.
And Peter. I want to stomp Peter. Anyways, this is not about that. I think that Robin, like if she was put on a girls trip, this would have us saying, do we still want Robin or should she just go? Like maybe it'll wake her up. That
would be a true test to see what she's capable of.
Yeah. So Aaron, the subject that we really are here for, because we got to give our MVP, our LVP, we got to talk about all the things. Let the people know about Married to Medicine and the return of Quadria Webb.
Married to Medicine, they finally wrapped up the trip to
Head Hog.
Hilton
Head Hog, cheese.
Hilton Head Hog, wherever the hell they were. I'm happy that they wrapped this trip.
This is like going to be a dumb question. So guys, please don't drag me. And I know that I do watch Southern Charm and I am in Florida. Speaking of, just a side note, when they were talking about Florida on Potomac, I was just standing there like MJ because we live in Florida and everything that they were saying is true. So I was just listening like, I
get it.
Yeah, I was just standing there just like MJ.
I was like, I live there. So, I mean, I'm not... I don't hate on the state of Florida in that way simply because, I mean, for me, Miami was a place that I love.
It's different. South Florida is
it feels like a different place, right? So I think it just depends on where you are.
But like we just wanted to confirm the rumors are true. Like, so if we go missing, just know, like, that's what happened. We live in Florida. But yeah, so they're back. Okay, my dumb question, Hilton Head, where is it? Is it in South Carolina? Is it North Carolina? Is it in Georgia?
I think it's
okay, and then so Charleston is South Carolina also.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really dumb. Yeah. And then Hilton Head is South Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I just I'm sorry, those states I don't know about those states like at all.
How did you? I want to ask Richie too. Richie, did you enjoy this trip?
No, I mean, you know what it was. Yeah, it's in South Carolina. I was just making sure. I
was just like, where are we going?
The build up to the trip was probably more exciting than the trip itself. Like this old, Jackie and Curtis having to return to the scene of the crime and, all of the surrounding drama, like with that. And then even that first night when they got there, are they coming or are they not coming? But we know they are coming. It's just going to be a matter of when and what's going to happen when they get there.
And then how they showed up and heavily getting it started.
And, outside of that and Sweet Tea cursing out Dr. Jackie, I mean, that was pretty much it for me. I mean, I was done with it after that.
Done with it.
Done with it.
That's how I felt. And then when we seen Quad at the Med Gala, I was happy to see Quad.
I was too. Actually, this episode it surprised me because I wasn't anticipating any drama outside of Quad, and they did have a little bit of drama.
They had a secret storyline.
This is some okay.
They had something to talk about at the reunion.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think? Talk us through that drama, Aaron. The drama with Toya and that whole
and the Heavenly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because Toya didn't pay, and she thought that she was going to bring wine to those people's event. And Heavenly was like, and she did not pay. She just brought wine.
Well, their whole thing was that they bought they actually bought $1,400 worth of wine to the event. So that is their contribution to it. And at the same time, Toya feels that since they bought $1,400 worth of wine and that, it was doing so well that they needed more glasses, that she should be able to put up her advertisement.
No.
Whose side are you on, guys?
I'm
Toya's.
Heavenly. Because it's like, you come in, they didn't need that. You could have easily just donated your money and they could have drunk water and cranberry juice. It would have been fine.
Well, no, the funny thing about it is I was looking at the tweets, with Toya and Dr. Heavenly going at it, and Dr. Heavenly was like, I think that the amount was maybe like 6 vendors that Phaedra had gotten that were supplying champagne and I think wine, so they didn't really need the wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even with Toya, and here's the thing about like just business in general, like if you're supplying something and if you are also requested to sponsor something, like that's a tax write-off for your business. So at the end of the day, it's not like you're spending that money, but it's also helpful to your business in general.
Yeah, it was free advertisement too, though.
And free advertisement. Like
on top of the tax write-off.
To me, if you are constantly buying a new home almost every other season, you are buying the $17,000 bags or whatever like that, I feel like $1,000, girl, like that's nothing to you. It should, it seemed like, to her, right? Now I'm not in her pocketbook, but that's what it was seeming to me. That's what I would do. I would have been like, oh, y'all need $1,000. And actually, you know what? Let me also donate some wine too, because that's my.
Oh yeah, on top of it, because that's also like a great advertising space. Like
exactly. That's
how I would do it. Especially because she's. Never mind. So just hypothetically,
say it. What was you gonna say? I'm just wondering if you're going to echo a thought of mine, but
no, mine's probably way shadier than yours. Mine is like, because I don't know anyone who's in Toya's wine club. Although I would love to be in the wine club because I do love wine and it does look good. Like those grapes look juicy.
Well, girl, you could probably be an affiliate because I had actually, to be honest, I thought about it myself. Like I'm really just starting to try to investigate wines because I don't want to drink alcohol, like hard alcohol like that anymore.
Right.
So I was like, this is actually very interesting. But
and she's in our like a Black woman with a wine line.
Exactly.
I would love to be sipping on that, maybe the official wine of the podcast. Like I'd be into it.
That's a possibility.
But what was your thought that you thought was going to get echoed?
You guys should reach out to her, but I don't know if she will want to after I say this. Well, after what you said, really, honestly, because what you said was shady. I was going to say that I don't think she's that smart of a businesswoman, because to me, a businesswoman would have been thinking, oh snap, this is a great way. But maybe she is even actually smarter than we thought, because now we're still talking about her wine.
Ooh, and it's gonna come up at the reunion.
So
And
maybe this all worked. Maybe this worked better than Porsha, Mary, and Simon.
because, like, did you guys know that? But I will say though that this Toya wine thing is like real. Like, it's a real business that exists. Unlike Miss Larsa, who I'm gonna get her ass another day.
Wait, what? She got a tequila, right?
Yeah, where is it?
It ain't on the shelves beside 818.
It's in the trader's house. That's where she left it.
Was that breakup real with her and Mark?
No, it wasn't. It was a PR stunt, and I appreciate it because it
But
worked.
she had to promote on her story because no one gave a fuck. Like, I hated that. I was like, this is so embarrassing. Take it off. Take it down now.
Y'all, why is what is her name? Why is Julia beefing with Marcus?
Apparently, at the reunion, Marcus cussed all of them out. Like, he said something about the whole group. I think so. And I don't know what he says, but it took me off guard because when we saw him at BravoCon, he was very nice. He was very
He
nice.
said something about
And he was good on Traders, man. I was like, y'all better get rid of him.
He was with it. Yeah, they knew. Like, but okay, so with the Marriage Medicine, we got the return of Quad, and Quad hugged Gregory. Tell me about it, because a lot of people think that hand was lingering too long.
I don't know why.
Greg's hand was lingering around Quad's waist. And I did see that. I did notice it. And Gregory definitely looked enamored. I'm sorry. And then it's not just because I love Quad so much. It looked like he wanted to spin the block. I'm going to keep it a buck.
It did.
Yeah, he loved that woman. What did you think about that?
I didn't see the point of Quad hugging him. I'm going to be honest. I didn't see the point. I thought that she could have accomplished the same thing while just like being like, hey, good luck to y'all. Because now you created this energy that now people could assume, like, do you want him back?
Well, I mean, I think that okay, so if I was Quad, it was, I don't like how she said, can I hug his neck?
Yeah,
that was a very weird phrasing.
I was like, am I the only one that picked up on how weird that was? No, who says,
can I hug his neck?
Can I hug his neck a little?
Yeah, like
what the fuck?
Absolutely, like no, because if she would have said no to that, then it would have been like she's not tripping. Because why would you say hug his neck? But if she would have just said, "Can I hug him?" and she said no, then you would have been tripping. But anyway, she said yes regardless because she's a fan of Quad.
My first problem that I had was when Quad told her to go fetch her man, and I was like, "You gonna do it? No, girl, you want to go speak to him? You go speak to him, but I'm not going to go fetch him for you." And Sweet Tea just runs off getting to the money, and she brings the money back over, and and then it's just and then I got a problem with him because why he telling his wife he confused? What you confused about? Why are you confused? You are divorced and you are married to me. There's nothing to be confused about
it.
You saw your ex-wife who you knew was on the show. You knew at some point y'all was going to run into each other. Like, it couldn't have been all season long that y'all didn't come into contact. And so she spoke to you. Were you, unless he was just as confused as we were about asking to hug his neck?
The phrasing. But that doesn't seem like what he was confused about. Like his entire body language. Like, we need a body language expert.
I'll take it back any day, any night, any day of the week.
Exactly. And on Quad's part, it did not seem like she was leaving the door open for anything. I felt like it was like a little bit pettiness. Like, oh, I'm going to show up here looking good as fuck after y'all kicked me off the trip. Everyone's going to, be watching the finale. They're going to want my return. And then on top of that, I want to be very civil with my ex-husband. And I'm going to hug his neck. And he's going to look at me longingly because, look at me. And we're going to be talking about it.
I think it kind of fell flat, though, unfortunately.
To you?
I hate to say it. I wanted it so bad to be like a quiet moment, like a powerhouse
So
moment.
ideally, tell me, like,
But
what would you think
for
that she
me,
should
it was Toya leaving,
do?
and then it was everybody being like, "Okay, all right, y'all, I'm so tired. It's time to go." And like, then she's
But
like,
what do you
"Oh,
think that Quad should have done? Is what I'm saying.
She should have shown up earlier.
right."
In my opinion, that
She should
would have
shown up
made it
earlier.
even more impactful because you would have had everybody's reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And her and Toya should have had a moment. Like I felt like that would have been a lot better, even though I don't see that. I don't see it happening because they.
I
don't
think
have
Toya
anything
hates
against each
her.
other. Yeah, and it's just like the vibes are weird. I think Simone also made it very weird because it's clear that Simone doesn't really care for her right now. And then the little digs here and there, and even with you're making the situation more uncomfortable than it is with the whole.
I think
Dr. G thing.
that was also weird of
You
Simone to
okay,
be like,
Dr.
"Are
G?
you okay?" Like, he's a grown man. He has a wife right there. You guys are like,
And at what point did she side with Dr. G? That's also what I want to know. When did they take
Great
Dr. G in and fuck with him so heavy? Like, at what point did they just.
I thought it was just me because they are all like,
In his
yes,
ass?
yeah, like
Eating his ass? Like,
with
all
the
of them.
spoon. Like, what's going on?
I feel like they did all that because they wanted to bring him and her back on the show to really F with Quad. I really felt like that was the thought was that this is going to be the thing that is
Mhm.
going to be like what we talk about this season, LVP style. And
Mhm.
so I just kind of felt like when it didn't happen that way, like it kind of did but didn't,
Right,
because Quad became the story,
right.
and kicking her out the
Kind of
circle.
backfired.
It felt like it backfired, yeah. And now it also actually feels to me like Dr. G is actually more invested in the group than they are for him. That's what I feel.
Right.
Because I feel like he wanted Sweet Tea to apologize to Jackie like so bad. Like,
Because
I'm
he was
like, no,
embarrassed.
your wife is fed up. Like, you have not protected her not one bit because these are your friends. So if these women are continuously sunning this girl, calling her baby girl, little girl, and doing all of these things, think about it in real life. Your partner brings you around a group of people that are constantly disrespecting you. Who you blaming? I'm blaming my partner.
My partner, because you need to check them. Like,
You need to check them because these are your friends. Because if I gotta check them, then you're gonna have a problem.
because he also
That's
sees
your
it. Like,
problem.
he's
You
not
got a problem with me,
blind.
and you got a problem with them.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So what are we thinking about as in terms of next season? Who do we think should come back? Who do we think shouldn't? Like, should there be, like, in my opinion, if Sweet Tea is coming back, because it just seems like she really can't handle Heavenly, because I heard that Mamas was called and like a whole bunch of stuff is going on like
the
off the
Mamas was
show.
called.
Like a lot of stuff is going on off the show, but even like on the show, I only think that Sweet Tea should come back if Quad is there, so we can really get a full season of them actually like interacting. But if Quad does not come back, we also don't need Sweet Tea. As far as Dr. Alicia, we saw her get activated a
I
little
like
bit
her.
towards the end, but she could go if we need to free up the budget for Quad. And then the rest, I just say keep the cast the same, in my opinion. I'm gonna be honest, like, okay, you
I think Simone can take
beautiful
a break.
gown. Oh,
Simone just pissed me off.
Ooh, that's a hot take right there.
Honestly,
'Cause
towards
I feel
the
like
end, I'm
Simone is
like,
the villain.
Simone is really pissing me off this season because it's like you have so much energy for this girl, and why?
That's what I want to know. I really,
Why is
I
everybody
literally
so?
have no clue why that is.
I don't understand it. The only person that is vouching for Quad, honestly, is Sweet Tea
yeah, because she's a fan.
and Dr. Alicia. I will say Dr. Alicia has remained very neutral, and it's because she's really new on the show too, and I think she don't really give a fuck like that anyway. But
I think that I hope that they bring everybody back. Let me tell you why. Because I think it needs to be a situation where you bring everybody back and you see who shakes out. and who doesn't.
You
Because
think everyone deserves a second season? Like, are you of that belief?
I'm not of that belief specifically, because
Okay.
some people, I feel like we all in our minds know like an 8.5 should probably just be gone. But anyway, different show. So what I was gonna say was, I just feel like they have so much there potentially that I think that we need to see like who is really bringing what next season, because there's so much that happened towards the end. And if Sweet Tea does come back, personally, I do think that they need to bring in somebody around her age. Maybe, the Audra girl, bring her back. Somebody that she can connect with, because I feel like she has no allies on that show, for real, for real. And she needs somebody. She needs somebody to kind of at least have her back in the way that everybody else on that show has somebody to have their back. Maybe that will be Dr. Alicia. I don't know. But that could be interesting too. But I just feel like Dr. Alicia wasn't given enough play, because I think that when they had so much with Quad, they kind of pushed her to the side. And I feel like you didn't really give her a fair shake. So let's see who comes back and who brings what. And at the end of the season, if we ain't got the budget for everybody, somebody got to be a friend.
And then, okay, so then what do we think about Miss Phaedra? Like, are we like because when she started off, she had a great running start, and I think it was because of her friendship with Quad. I realized that for me.
Her back on Atlanta.
You want her back to Atlanta?
I want her back on Atlanta, especially with this whole Porsha thing now.
Yeah,
and she's in Porsha's comments. It's like, bring freaking Frack back.
I think that's where she really wants to be anyway. With all this little talk that she's been doing about that the cast would look fantastic if she was back. And, it's just like, girl, we know you want to be back there. Okay. And they're going to probably they could possibly give her the money, but it would look crazy that you would just like literally hopscotching from one show to the next show to the next show. But wherever the money goes, girl, follow it, But yeah, she was... I love Phaedra, but this was a no-no for me.
I was just so excited because she was just so funny and fun those first few episodes. Like, even when Claude wasn't on there and she was supposed to be on there, and they did that store opening. Do we know if that store is actually open? Like, is that a real store? Is that like a...
I was gonna ask y'all, because I was like, I ain't heard hide or hair of that store.
Is it by...
like, I ain't heard nothing about these supplements that she was selling in Dubai. So I don't know.
Is it next to Rashida's store or Carly's store?
I would love to know.
Like,
it was bought out by Pressed.
And to be fair, too, they did say that they cut a lot of Phaedra scenes. Like, they said Phaedra did a lot.
I just don't see her advertising it either, though. Like, you have all the eyes that you need on you because, okay, you might not be doing the best on Married to Medicine, but people you have a brand new audience on Traders. So you should be advertising, whether it's the CMOS, whether it's the store, whether it's the mortuary services, the law stores.
Like them stun guns.
I think she's gearing up for something.
So return to Housewives.
And you know what? She would deserve it. I was fired. Okay, so we're wrapping up. Like, we got to do our MVP of Married to Medicine and our least valuable player, which is our LVP. I'll obviously go first. My MVP is going to be Quadria. She could have missed 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes, but when she was on there, I felt it. I felt her absence also. It was very loud. I want her back. I want her back full time. I don't care if she's not even Married to Medicine, my love, because if we're not going to have Mariah back, we need those power players, and Quad is a power player for me. Simone actually got on my nerves, but I don't... Is she my LVP? No, that at least she is cute, but... Beautiful gowns. Aaron?
Not too used to the movie. Definitely Quad for MVP. Least valuable player, Dr. Simone.
Oh, I knew you was gonna say it. I just didn't think you were actually gonna go through with it.
She just pissed me off. And I did enjoy Alicia towards the end. I was like, okay, I wish I would have seen more of this, especially that live that she did with Heavenly when they were going back and forth. I love that. I'm like, that's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see.
You're like, let her talk. Let her talk.
Heavenly. Like, I don't know if y'all seen that, but she was really going back and forth.
We need someone who, and then isn't that strange because she's the one who's literally agreeing with Heavenly's 1842 ways. Richie, MVP, LVP of the season.
It's difficult for me. MVP is probably for me going to go to Dr. Heavenly, mostly because like she's the mess. Like
Kept it going.
She's kind of like the engine. You know what I mean? Like that when you need something to get going, like she's done it. She's going to give it to you. I was torn on my LVE because a part of me wanted to say Dr. Jackie. But
I would co-sign that.
I understand that Dr. Jackie is kind of like the heartbeat of the show. So although I have many problems with how the cast positions her. That's my problem. I want to give also least valuable to Phaedra, but I feel like if Quad's there, Phaedra could be more useful. When Quad left, to me, that is when Phaedra became
fit into the background.
Why are we here other than to show up in like furs and things like that? So if I had to say for this season in LVP, it would be Alicia, Dr. Alicia. I'm sorry. It was too little too late for me.
Yeah, it's like brought you on at the end, just like the new girl on Potomac. It's like we should have brought her in a little bit earlier because this is
still might be my MVP. Because they haven't done shit the whole season.
The new girl on MVP. Wait, we still got a couple episodes left, I think. They said that so I also wanted to announce to you guys that we might actually get some noteworthy fashions for the Potomac reunion. Did you hear the rumor that the theme is going to be all black? Allegedly. That's just what I'm hearing. I'm not sure if it's true. I feel like it's very hard to fuck up all black for Potomac. Allegedly. That's what I'm hearing.
Because why would they do all black? Is it a funeral? Or
they just can't.
The end.
What a way to go out, though. Maybe that was a joke and I took it seriously. Wow. Let me know what y'all hear on the Potomac streets. I would love to see an all-black theme for the reunion for Potomac because it's very hard to mess that up. Like, please, Giselle, please.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, it's like one of those. Yeah. It's really actually it really is hard to mess up all black.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But
like,
I feel like somebody's gonna do it. Somebody is going to just F it up. I guarantee you. I don't know who it's gonna be.
Is Sharice gonna be invited? Like, I haven't. Anyways, y'all, that's the show. We are so appreciative of having you back on the show. We love talking with you. You guys, if you do not follow Richie's YouTube, you need to be subscribed yesterday. And I mean, like, you bring out the stars, but then you also bring out the hot takes. You bring out the reasonable takes. You bring out the rumors, the nastiness, but also the goodness. Like, you bring it out everything and let the people know what you're working on now, how we can support you, what can we subscribe to, buy, share, look at. Just let us know what you're doing.
Actually, what am I working on? Book 2 is finished. So that'll be out, I think, in May. I'm just finishing. I'm waiting for my editor to just give me the final go ahead that we're done. I'm tired of like going back and forth with her, but that should be out soon. I'm actually thinking about doing a live show. I've been asked to do it. I went to see Kempire. He invited me out to a show here. So shout out to him. I love him so much. Having met him now, he's just awesome. And so it kind of like inspired me to like, maybe I should do it. Like, I don't know. Cause I was always like, would anybody come? Like,
that's what we are literally. I feel like people would definitely come to yours and not only come to yours, but fill it up. Because like everyone knows, like this is the person where I found out this breaking news from. So I don't think that you should worry about possibly having like an audience. People would absolutely show up and show out.
And I want to put on a show too. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at heart, like I feel like Erica. I'm an Erica Jane. I'm a showman. You know what I mean? So I want to do all the things.
Bet it all.
I want to plan it up.
And Richard, you're gonna come out with a good suit. You know you're gonna come out.
Oh, I
with
mean, I got to do costume changes. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
Period. Skincare. Like, get ready with me before the show. Like, come on.
Okay.
Content.
It's got to be something fun. So I don't know, maybe something like that. But for like about 2 weeks in March, I'm gonna be out of town. I'm taking a vacation. I need a vacation. So that to me is what I'm most excited about right now.
I'm like, advertise what you're doing. Yeah, I'm going on vacation. So y'all leave me the hell alone. Don't DM me. Don't text me. Leave me the fuck alone. Don't ask me on the show. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you so much. You have to come back soon because it's so fun discussing everything with you, Bravo. And then we have to do a non-Bravo show soon. And thank you guys for listening. Let us know who is your MVP and your LVP. And also let us know about Porsha. Like, what do you think about this whole situation? We love you so much. Aaron, anything to say?
Subscribe to that Patreon, patreon.com/BravoWhileBlack.
Bye.